Okay, so we're working on ratios and proportions. And of course, there's several ways that a ratio can be expressed. It could be expressed as x to y. That looks like toy, doesn't it? I don't like that. So it could be expressed x to y. And we could express it as x colon y. But most often what we're going to see is in the form of a fraction, x over y. So and we will be asked to determine whether two ratios are in fact equivalent. That's what we're going to work on now, is determining whether two ratios are equivalent. So let's say we've got a ratio like this. I've got 4 over 5, and I'm being asked to determine, is this equivalent to 20 over 25? Now, one way that we can do this is just simply simplify or reduce one or more of these ratios or fractions. So in this example here, where I've got 4 over 5, and then I've got, is it equivalent to 20 over 25? Well, I might look at this 20 over 25. 4 over 5, I look at that and say, well, there's not anything I can do to reduce that. But 20 over 25, well, hopefully I can recognize that 20 over 25 is reducible. At least I can get it into a reduced form to see if it's equivalent to 4 over 5, because both 20 and 25 are divisible by 5. So if I take this 20 and divide it by 5, well, I've got 4. And if I take 25 and divide it by 5, I can see that it is equal to 5. And yes, 4 over 5 is equivalent to 20 over 25. Let's look at one other. Let's check another one. Let's say that we've got, we're asked, okay, is 5 over 9, or 5/9, is it equivalent to 7 over 11? Well, I'm looking at this and I see that 5 and 9 both are prime numbers. Well, 9's not a prime number, excuse me, 9's divisible by 3, but 5's a prime number. But over here, both 7 and 11 are prime numbers. I can't reduce that at all, and I can't reduce the 5 over 9. And so, no, these two are not equivalent. So let's see if we can look at a couple more. All right, so we've got 6 over 7. And we're being asked, is that equivalent to 24 over 28? Now, I'm looking at the 6 over 7 first. There's not anything I can do to reduce it. But looking at this 24 and 28, if I know my multiplication tables, then I can recognize that both 24 and 28 are divisible by 4. So I'm going to test this out, and I'm going to divide 4 into 24. Well, that's going to give me 6. And when I divide 4 into 28, that gives me 7. And 6/7 is equal to 6/7. They are equivalent. So yes, they are equivalent ratios. Okay, let's do another here. We'll do it right over here. Let's say we've got 8 over 9, and we're being asked to determine, is it equivalent to 72 over 81? Well, kind of like the last one, 8 over 9, there's not much I can do with that. But if I know my multiplication tables and I know them well, I can just look at 72 and 81. I go, both of those are divisible by 9. So 9 is going to go into 72 8 times, and 9 is going to go into 81 9 times. And yes, 8 over 9 is equivalent to 72 over 81. Now, let's look at something maybe just a little bit hairier, and we'll begin to start talking about another way that we can determine whether ratios are equivalent, another method by which we can determine that, other than just simply reducing the fractions. So I'm now being asked to determine, okay, is 7 over 16 equivalent to 42 over 90? Well, at 42 over 90, now we're getting beyond my simple brain's ability to do much. I know I can't do anything with 6 over 17. Now, another way of determining the equivalency of a ratio is called cross product. And what this simply means is that I can multiply the numerator of one ratio times the denominator of another ratio, and then I can multiply the denominator of the first ratio times the numerator of the second ratio. Now remember, I'm trying to determine, are these ratios equivalent? So I'm trying to assess equivalency. Now, got to have my trusty calculator out. But here's the thing. If when I do the cross product on these, if I get the same number, if I get equals, in other words, if 7 times 90 equals 16 times 42, then these are equivalent ratios. Well, let's see what we got here. All right, I'm going to start with, I'm going to multiply 7 times 90, and that's going to equal 630. And now I'm going to multiply 16 times 42, and thank goodness I got my trusty calculator. Well, that equals 672. Well, of course, 630 does not equal 672, and so no, these are not equivalent ratios. Let's take one more. All right, here we got, well, I'm going to work this one both ways. I've got 13 over 19, and I'm being asked, is this equivalent to 26 over 38? Now, I'm going to use the cross product here in a moment, but when I look at this, 13 over 19, those are two prime numbers. I can't do anything with it. But when I look at that 26 over 38, all of a sudden it dawns on me, well, 13 times 2 is 26, and 19 times 2 is 38. So if I divided both of those by both the 26 and the 38 by 2, I would get 13 over 19. Now, that might be because I do know my multiplication tables pretty well, and I've worked with these numbers like this so much that I begin to see and recognize the pattern, but that's not always going to be the case. So let's take a look at what happens if I cross multiply these. I'm going to multiply 13 times 38, and I'm going to multiply 19 times 26. So 13 times 38 equals 494. You can follow along on your calculator if you wish. And then when I multiply 19 times 26, hey, guess what? It's also 494. And so, yes, these are equivalent. Okie dokie, let's see. Well, we'll do one more. And we're going to turn you loose to do it on your own. All right, let's say we got 12 over 7. And we're being asked to determine, is this equivalent to 50 over 85? Well, it's going to hurt my head too much to do too much with this. So I think I'm just going to use cross products. I'm going to multiply 7 times 50, and I'm going to multiply 12 times 85. Let's see, 7 times, oh, let's just be 17. Let me get this right. Well, okay, whatever. Now I'll feel better about that. All right, so I'm going to multiply 17 times 50, and 17 times 50 comes to 1,020. And now I'm going to multiply 12 times 85. Well, 12 times 85 equals 850. Well, those two do not equal each other. Therefore, no, these are not equivalent. All right, so assessing equivalency of ratios and proportions using either simplifying one or more of the ratios, or using cross products. Isn't it great?